Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again.
We always love doing this at Mom. How are you doing and what are we doing today?
Brandon, I am doing fine. And today we're going to talk about a Christmas movie. This movie is called Most Wanted Santa.
Yes, and it released in 2021 on the streaming platform Tubi.
Yes, it did. It did. And Brandon, I'll give you just a very, very brief synopsis of this movie. Basically, this is about a private detective, or I should say, an FBI agent, along with the detective, who are investigating a case of stolen paintings. And so they believe that Santa is the one who is stealing the paintings. And the question is, how was Santa doing it? And they have a hard time catching Santa. And that is the basis of this movie.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And I know we've bypassed this movie a few times in our Tubi scrolls over the past year and a half or so. But Mom, now that we've seen the movie, what is your thoughts?
Well, it was cute. I'll give it that. It was cute. Um, is it the best movie out there? No, it's not. However, it was it was cute. Your thoughts, Brandon?
I like how politically correct you were with that.
Yes, I don't want to offend anyone, but yes, the movie was just okay.
So, what didn't do it for you? I mean, we're pretty used to cheesy shows, cheesy sitcoms. What didn't do it for you?
I am used to cheesy everything, and I don't know. This one was just a little too cheesy for me. There, it was. If you're going, if I'll put it this way, if you're watching the movie once, you'll be fine. I don't think it's a movie that you have to rewatch. That's just my opinion. It'd be interesting to hear what others think. But in my opinion, watching it once was plenty.
And I will say that for this movie, I think it was for at least for me, pure amusement value. I thought it was very interesting to see sort of how the story unfolded. I mean, I think it's a well put together story. Did it make logical sense? Well, not necessarily. But that's a whole that's a whole nother discussion. But I think it was an interesting, cohesive story, though.
I'll give it to you. It was cohesive. Yes, it was. I was more amused by other aspects of the story. Can I tell why, Neveretta?
Go ahead.
Alrighty. I was more amused. I watched the show because of the characters in here, and meaning that the actors who are on here, a lot of them played on General Hospital previously. And you guys know we do our General Hospital discussions. And so I was very happy to see Curtis. And I thought Curtis did a nice job for acting purposes based upon what was given to him. That that Curtis did a good job. There was also another character from General Hospital named Sabrina. And it's been years since she's been on General Hospital. But Sabrina, the character, the person who plays Sabrina, was on this movie also. Diane was also on this movie. And then there was another actor, Dustin. I think his name was Dustin. He was in this movie also. So it was nice to see four General Hospital characters all in here. And I thought Diane did a wonderful job. I've always thought she was a good actress. There was nothing wrong with what Curtis did. He just did what was put in front of him. Sabrina, on the other hand, I thought because I didn't care for the Sabrina character on General Hospital, I liked the way she actually acted in this one. I thought she did a much better job. And Dustin was just kind of the off character, but he did fine. So the characters themselves acted as well as they could for this movie.
Yes, and even though I've only been watching General Hospital for a year, it's been interesting to see. I mean, overall, the characters in this movie go about, and so this one had it where Donnell Turner, who plays Curtis on General Hospital, and here he was Chris North, a Santa who steals the art and now gives it back. He previously took it from the people that shouldn't have it, but he never actually said what he did with it before meeting the FBI agent Winslow, and now he decides to return it to its rightful owners. We don't know what he did with it before.
Yeah, in essence, Curtis, or I should say, Donnell Turner was playing basically a Robin Hood, just as a Santa.
Yes. And so he establishes throughout. Well, we see that he explains at the end of the movie, but we see sort of him repeatedly stealing these pieces of art, mostly from people who are doing no good. And so, like one of them laid off a bit of employees ready to retire on Christmas. There was some or around Christmas, and then another person who uh, if I remember correctly, bought out a woman's shelter to put in a gallery to for stolen art. Um,
Yes, that is correct. You heard that correct. And so he ended up giving this woman's shelter a suitable donation at the original women's shelter. And then the director, he also gave money to help with supplies, or he bought supplies or something like that for this particular women's shelter. So he was trying to help those who needed help. And then he gave the art pieces, the true art pieces, back to whoever the owners were. It was the in between what he did, whereas he kind of sold some of the ones that were fakes in order to get some of the proceeds to go to the correct place.
yes, but what's interesting is that he said it wasn't until so for those who watch, which I will say, at least for me, like I said, I found amusement in watching it, knowing that you're not. It's a made for streaming movie that's not necessarily made to be like a murder mystery or anything. Not anything with too many details you're supposed to pay attention to. But it had a FBI agent and a detective working together, and so of course Chris North, the thief, falls in love with the FBI agent, um, and all of that stuff, and so. She'd been tracking him down for years, and he still doesn't seem to be in custody by the end of this. Spoiler.
No, they're not, because they're in love at the end. So though he's not in custody, but this is a typical rom com. I will give it that. It is it your romantic comedy at its best. So,
I mean, usually for these types of movies, you have it. We're sure you have the forbidden romance. This one, the FBI officer um and the thief. But we have two different forbidden romances in this movie.
oh, we do. What are they, Brandon?
We also have the detective and the captain.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We do have we do have this. So yes, so it's a double feature, guys.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. And I think I think the part that probably throws you off the most is that it's not like the character Chris North or Santa. It's not like he really hides what he's doing per se. I mean, sure, he doesn't go out and admit that he's Santa, but I mean, didn't he bet like $100,000 on a child's painting?
He did. But then, he hid out in public. You knew you knew who was doing it. He took pictures with people as Santa. He just yeah, you knew what he was trying to do, and he was trying to do the right thing. However, he was stealing at the same time. So it I guess it didn't sit well with me, for even though it's a goofy, well, I don't want to say goofy movie, even though it's a Christmas movie, it it just, there are better out there. But for watching it once, it's fine.
But I will say, for all intents and purposes, I know our critiques are large with the story. I do think the actors did a good job for what it was worth.
Yeah, the actors did. I'll give the actors credit for, they did what was supposed to be done for them, and so they did act well. They really did, and so I did enjoy watching Donnell Turner in here, and like I said, and I also enjoyed the other characters as they were playing. It was just a goofy story.
And I would say that for for these actors, especially for get on track. I'd like to see, I mean, some of the more work that they do, and then for him, I'd like to see sort of the way that he's portrayed here a little bit more in Curtis on General Hospital.
Yeah, I think the funness of it that was there in this movie, and I did like that for the character itself.
Yes, I mean, I definitely think that it's a fun movie. I will say that there was one scene to me that did not really flow with the rest of the movie.
And which one's that?
That is when they caught Chris North.
Okay, and why were you bothered by it?
So in the scene, we went from everything fun loving this and that to they're supposedly have are legitimately the police are supposedly legitimately buying this painting from the black market lady Quinn, and then all of a sudden, like I think like the entire scene is red.
Yeah, that is true too. But like I said, it is made for TV, just one of your Christmas movies, so it fits in with some of the other ones that are out there.
But yes, but don't you just want a giant Christmas tree forest like Chris North does?
Yeah, he did have a forest in his backyard. Brandon, I do rate some of these movies, and I do 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. I gave this one a 2.5. Don't laugh at me, but I gave this one a 2.5 for the story itself. What did you give it, Brandon?
Well, Mom, I gave it a free.
Oh, that's so sweet. I will say this: one of the things that we notice in the holiday movies, so typically is a message in there, and so I did find the message in here. Oddly enough, one of the other Santas in the movie actually said it, but it said, "Have faith in the magic of Christmas," and and for this movie, I thought it fit, and they did bring it back around toward the end. Did you find a message in the movie at all?
Ooh, that's a great one. Yeah, so there was, and I wish I remembered what the phrase was, but there's a certain phrase that they used throughout uh, the movie to refer to when different people would like repeatedly bump into each other, like when you're thinking about them, it appears, and it's something to do with relativity, I think. But I, it was a phrase that was repeated throughout the movie, and I just thought it really stuck with it.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, you guys have to let us know in the comments. Have you seen this movie? And if so, what were your thoughts? Most Wanted Santa. We'd love to know what your thoughts are about the movie.
Yeah, we definitely will. And Mom, I did actually have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If you had to change one thing about this movie to, yeah, to make it more likable, what would you have changed?
It probably had to be the writing, but but yeah, I think it would have to be the writing of the movie because I don't want to fault the actors because I think the actors did a nice job. It really was just there were just parts of the movie, and I can't exactly tell you what it was that, like I said, it just didn't strike me as well as it probably could have been.
Yeah, and Mom, we actually do have a little bit of a connection outside of just the General Hospital connections.
All right, what's our connections, Brandon?
So um, our connection actually with one of the writers.
Oh, who's that?
So one of the writers, Catherine Dow, um, she was actually a writer's assistant on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh, cool, cool. Well, that's good to know. Good to know.
But yeah, but Mom, is there anything else you want to say before we go ahead and close out this discussion?
No, no. I just look forward to Brandon working with you throughout the holiday season as we kind of go through and look at some more holiday TV shows and movies.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to it as well.
All right. We thank everybody for watching today.
And have a great day.
All right. Bye bye, everybody.